Steelers Nation, how are we feeling about 6-2 heading into the bye, man? 6-2.
Not just 6-2 heading to the bye, but 6-2 and up top of the AFC North division.
Everything worked out in the Steelers' favor this weekend. We got the Browns with Jameis Winston beating the Ravens. We got the Eagles blowing out the Bengals, and we got the Steelers winning 3 straight, heading 6-2 atop the AFC North, heading into their Week 9 bye. You can't ask for anything better. Everything worked out in the Steelers' favor, man. And with that being said, we're going to go into the Week 9 bye feeling comfortable, feeling happy, feeling great, and feeling a sense of optimism that this second half of the schedule, which is going to be tough, that this team can come in and compete, that this team can come in and win football games, especially with Russell Wilson at quarterback. That's where I want to start. I want to start with Russell Wilson, man. His second game at Steelers quarterback, and outside of one mistake, outside of one fumble that kept the Giants in it a lot more than they should have, a lot closer than they should have been, Russ killed it tonight.
Outside that fumble loss right there, where he was trying to evade pressure, I saw no issues from Russell Wilson.
No.
What he has done throughout the past 2 weeks has been slinging the ball. He's been aggressive with it. He's been getting a lot of our targets involved, guys like Van Jefferson, guys like Calvin Austin, Darnell Washington. He even tried to throw a deep ball to Scotty Miller, which was on the dime, right? Like Calvin Austin came up big in this game. We'll talk about him later. But Russell Wilson has had another solid performance. I would say he honestly cooked once again.
20 of 28, 278 yards, and 1 touchdown. And I emphasize that 1 because it's the only one that actually counted. He should have had 3. Both of those other 2 for Pickens. They were both taken back. The first one, which would have been, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the Steelers' first opening drive touchdown of the season for George Pickens. That was taken back to, guess who?
Broderick Jones.
Number 77 with a face mask penalty. Thanks, Broderick. I appreciate it.
I don't know what Broderick was doing on that play. He just reached his hand up and touched the defender's face mask.
Shout out to Anzem with a 5.
We've got 2 words for
If those touchdowns counted, we would have had 40 points. And yeah, Russell has made us very dynamic in our plays. I agree. 100%
If you're
agree.
not down with that, we've
BSG
got
74
2 words for
with
you.
a 49 says one reason to get a receiver is insurance in case of injury, especially if Pickens goes down. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. In fact, that's a good way to transition here because, yes, Russell Wilson had 1 touchdown. Should have had 3 passing touchdowns because 1 from Pickens was taken away due to a Broderick penalty, and the second one, Pickens had it, but he didn't get that left foot in bounds. That left foot would just not touch the turf.
No, it was floating. Like, it could have hit the turf, but that left foot was just floating on. Like, his right foot touched the turf twice, but the left foot did not touch. So
No,
it
stayed. It just levitated. It never wanted to touch the turf, unfortunately. Those 2 touchdowns were taken away, which was unfortunate because those were 2 red zone trips that they had early in the game. Because I'll give the offense this. They started off decently hot. Typically, they have a slow start. You know, they go 3 and out. They get conservative, and they try to warm up into the second half. They actually started off with 3 straight red zone drives. The issue was they didn't score on any of them. In fact, they didn't score on any of the red zone trips, which sucks.
No, and that was one. That's one of the big negatives to take from this game.
And Barbara FN with a 199 says, one complaint I have is why is every second down a run? It's called second and
If
nine.
you're not down with that,
Steve Travis
we've got 2 words for you.
with a 10 says, on a good note, ask Colin Coward how he feels about us being at the top, wide receiver wise, activate Russell Wilson or Roman Wilson to see what we have. Thing with him, he's on IR.
He's going to be on IR for the next 4 weeks, so we're going to have to wait even longer for Roman Wilson to really get involved. But even then, it's like kind of going to hold my breath on that one. But
at this point, listen, I still like Roman Wilson. I know many people are labeling him a bust. He hasn't really played. You can't really label him a bust yet. But Russell Wilson connected with 8 separate targets, almost 9. 8 separate targets, 74 yards to Pickens, a dime on the left sideline to Pickens. Van Jefferson, 62 yards, a season high. He caught a nice deep pass on the right sideline. Van Jefferson, man, it's the last 2 weeks. He's getting involved a lot. Calvin Austin, 54 yards and a deep touchdown on a corner route.
a 29-yard bomb. It was a pretty pass by Russ.
Darnell Washington had 29 yards on 1 reception. What you notice with Russell Wilson in at quarterback is he's spreading the ball. He's giving these guys the shots down the field. And the execution, for the most part, is there. That's what Russell Wilson brings to the table. And because of that, not only is the passing game effective,
but so is a rushing attack. The rushing game is the 3 straight games for Najee Harris.
Has that ever happened? 3 straight games, Najee Harris has over 100 rushing yards.
I believe this is the first time in Najee's career as a Steeler that he's ever accomplished this.
Najee is killing it. 3 straight games with 100 rushing yards, and a big reason for that is because Russ just opens up everything. He's giving our targets the opportunity, and the targets are taking advantage. Najee is finding lanes. He's getting big chunks. He's getting up the field because now the box isn't as stacked as it used to be. Now the blocking is there from our tight ends, from Dan Moore, from our fullbacks. You know, huge props, huge kudos to them. Najee's been able to get some big bursts, get ups down the field. So in that sense, what you see with Russell Wilson at quarterback is that explosive factor. We are adding some dynamicness. We're opening things up. We're getting down the field. We're starting off a little hot a little bit. We're getting down the field. We're getting points on the board. It may not be the points that we should be getting, whether that's them not finishing drives, whether that's penalties or simple errors taking those away. But what I'm noticing is the offense is getting down the field. Yeah. I sense life with this offense with Russell Wilson.
There is life with this offense. They're making plays. They're making chunk plays at that. They're getting the yardage. The rushing attack is the most consistent that it has ever been in quite some time.
And Russ, man, is literally cooking. He was outside of that fumble. He was perfect tonight. Not a single error outside of that. Nothing. No mistakes, no near interception plays, no bad reads, no bad throws. It was just Russ was looking very good at quarterback, man. He's showing you he still has a lot to offer, and clearly he's the guy the Steelers are going to continue to ride with.
And the crazy part about all of that is the offense was very good overall. Got the yardage, got the plays. The execution was on point for the most part. Yeah, very good. I was very satisfied with what the offense overall did.
I would agree.
But I will say, like, the offense could have added more. They could have had more points. They could have actually made this game much more out of reach for the Giants. I don't want to be overly negative about it. I don't want to harper too much on it because I really liked what the offense did. But think about, the miscues that happened earlier in the game. The penalties from the offensive line, the Broderick Jones face mask that took the Pickens touchdown away. Pickens not getting his feet down and whatnot, right?
Right.
The red zone, they didn't get a single touchdown when they made a trip to the red zone.
They were actually 0-4 in the red zone.
0-4. I would say that's the biggest negative to take apart from this game in general.
All of them led to Boz field goals. So, yes, there is a level of life. There is a sense of excitement. And there is some breathing room with the offense, with Russ in at quarterback specifically, which we love. It's something we've been hungry for, a lot of us, for years now. We're not used to this. And to think the Steelers should have had 30-plus points for 3 straight games. They should have had 40, realistically. Think about that. This game was a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
The Steelers' early mistakes on offense kept the Giants in this way too long. A lot closer than they should have been. It never should have came down to Beanie Bishop closing the game out. It never should have came down to Tyrone Tracy getting a 45-yard rushing touchdown or however long it was.
And that's the little things that could be a major factor heading into the second half of the season. That's the stuff that the Steelers are going to have to clean up big time throughout the bye. The bye week couldn't come at a better time.
Agreed.
This is the best time for the bye week to come.
Because they need to get healthy on the O-line. We now see with a 2-week trial or 2-week run what Russ can bring to the table. He's the guy we're going to go with. And with the bye, they're just going to grow on the errors. They're all going to grow in chemistry. And I get excited about that second half of the season. I get a sense like I got something to look forward to.
Big time.
We've got 2 words for you.
I got 2 words for you, says a bell. For left tackles and right tackles, TJY.
Yeah, let's transition over. That's a great transition over to the defense.
Listen, man, Calvin Austin's probably my player of the game because not only did he have a big touchdown catch, he had a 73-yard punt return. For our first touchdown of the game that actually counted.
Which really gave the Steelers a boatload of momentum at that point.
Yeah, let me tell you, the game was, I think, tied at that point. and that completely changed the momentum in the second half.
And it goes to show, quickly talking about special teams right here, week by week, special teams has made a play.
Shout out to Danny Smith.
It could be blocking a punt, blocking a field goal. It could be a return for a touchdown. It just goes to show week by week that special teams is coming up big with these big plays, and that special teams absolutely matters big time. And
Agreed.
Danny Smith, leading the charge, his 12 years as special teams coordinator, and it's really paying off this time around. Like, big kudos and big props to Danny Smith leading these guys on special teams to make plays week by week.
Right.
I couldn't be any more happier than I am now for special teams.
Yeah,
Great job.
Special teams absolutely matters. Boz got us the majority of the points earlier on into the game. Calvin Austin got us our first touchdown of the game. So huge shout out to special teams, man. Like, they really stepped up. But that specifically is what really changed the momentum, because after that, the defense, specifically the pass rush, really woke up. After that, I think we had 4 total sacks in this game. 2 from Highsmith and 2 from TJ.
Those 4 sacks were in the second half alone.
Yeah, they had 0 sacks. 0 sacks in the first half. They had 4 alone in the second half. That takes me right back to the Chargers game, where that defense dominated in the second half, and they got all 5 sacks in the second half. Deja vu tonight with 4 sacks in the second half. The Steelers are a second half team. They really are. Now, again, this game should have been out of reach a while ago, but the second half, man, like, the special teams woke up. The defense absolutely woke up, or the pass rush specifically, and the offense found that killer instinct that they had the last 2 weeks, where they were getting aggressive. They were taking those deep shots. They were getting points on the board, right? They were playing to end the game, which we love. So shout out to them for that. And it was clearly enough to end this game. So I would say the positives definitely outweigh the negatives tonight. The negatives are, penalties and simple mistakes from Broderick and Pickens took away points. The penalties from the offensive line is still evident.
Yeah.
And the red zone efficiency, not there. Still points off the board. But otherwise, I would say the offense, man, what we saw is there is something to get excited about. There is life. There is some velocity. There's some aggression. There's that killer instinct that they now offer.
You know what?
There's
the
a consistent rushing game.
The offense has an identity for once.
I agree.
They are showcasing that they have an identity, which is a great thing to see.
So I think
you just worry about the little things on offense. You worry about the little things ASAP, get them cleaned up right out the gate so that they don't become a big problem down the road, then we're good to go.
Quite honestly, like, the little things are just basics. It's just the simplest tasks that, unfortunately, tonight seemed like the hardest things to get past.
And I'm not asking for the team to be perfect, because they're never going to be perfect. But if they can just work on a couple miscues, like 2 of those touchdowns that Pickens could have had, if they at least had that, this game would have been gone.
It should have been over.
It would have been 40-18.
It would have been. And honestly, like, the defense, they had 4 sacks in the second half. I will say, though, the biggest negative I got for them is they allowed too many chunk yardage plays. Darius Slayton had over 100 yards. Tyron Tracy had 145 yards and a touchdown. And, it's just a lot of chunk yardage. And because of the earlier mistakes, it kept the Giants in it a lot closer than they should have been.
Yeah.
But again, shout out to the defense. Shout out to the pass rush. Shout out to Watt for making plays. Shout out to Highsmith for making plays. Shout out to Beanie for making that interception. Shout out to Calvin for stepping up and having 2 touchdowns tonight. Shout out to Wilson for really hitting his targets and cooking again. Shout out to Najee for another 100-yard game. And shout out to the entire offense for having that killer instinct to finish the game and just, like, this game's too close, man. Let's just end it. Let's close this game out.
Yeah.
And that's those are the positives. Those are the pluses that we didn't get to see the past couple years, and that's what they're adding back to the offense. So those are the things I'm really harboring on, and those are the things I'm getting excited about, because then the small mistakes that they made earlier on should just be at a minimum in the next couple of weeks. I would hope so. And that's what the bye week's for.
And this is the best time to do it. This is the best time for the bye week to come up. Just go back on the practice field, go back in the film room. Again, I say this every week. Just go back in there and do what you got to do. Look over the tape, look over the mistakes so that it doesn't happen again, because we can't afford it come the second half. We all know how devastating and the gauntlet that it is.
Yes. But I would say now, Frazier, because of the bye week, this is the positive. Frazier will be back. Dan Moore left with an injury. He hopefully is okay.
Hopefully it's minor.
Because I can't believe I'm going to say this. Dan Moore is our best tackle right now. Corey Trice could be back. Think about that. He could be back. Nick Herbig will be back. Like, we're going to have a lot of good key pieces, a lot of young guys that are going to be back and healthy and ready to go for the second half. That's going to be necessary.
And we're going to need them.
And then, of course, hopefully the red zone efficiency is improved. Hopefully the defense can stop giving up a lot of chunk yardage and big plays. Hopefully all that is improved for the bye week. The bye week couldn't come at a perfect time. And we couldn't be sitting better in first place at the AFC North right now with a nice, comfy lead heading into the bye. So heading into the bye, man, the Steelers are 6-2, and I couldn't be more happier. They've won 3 straight. They were sitting at 3-3, and they've won 3 very good games. They gave us 3 very good performances.
We've got 2 words for
Tyler Marine with a 9.99. Shout out to Tyler, man. He says, still should have gotten more points on the board. Just need to work on mental mistakes. But overall, good team win and well-deserved all in the bye. The second half is here, boys. Couldn't agree more, Tyler. Appreciate you, as always.
Yeah,
appreciate you all you guys, man. How you guys feel about the Steelers? How you guys feel about 6-2? How you guys feel about the bye week? How you guys feel about this win? Who you guys riding with? We're riding with Russell Wilson, man.
Oh, no doubt about it. We are riding with Wilson here.
Yeah. So we'll see what the Steelers do for the bye, but as we stand, Steeler Nation, we can now rest.
If you're not down with that,
Good question, Barber.
we've got 2 words for
With a
you.
1.99, do you think this is the year we win a playoff game?
I'd say we're capable.
God, I hope so.
We're definitely capable. It's just a matter of actually getting it to that point and seeing what they can do.
If anything, win one for TJ.
But listen, man. Yeah, TJ Watt, he came up big.
Bro,
oh, my God. Prime
that strip
time.
sack.
Prime time. When the lights are on him, TJ Watt's going to make a play.
Just win one for TJ.
But listen, man. This team, going forward, just got to take it one game at a time.
Yes.
Focus on one opponent at a time, one game at a time, one play at a time. Just do that. You focus on that and do what you got to do.
I agree. But otherwise, I'm happy for the bye. It couldn't come at a perfect time, and I'm very excited. And this team, man, like the past couple years, I haven't been able to say this, but so far this year, with what this team has offered, with what Russ brings to the table, with how healthy we're going to be, I'd honestly say this team gives me some confidence heading into the second half of the season. And it's a grueling task, but we're here for it. And this team better be as prepared as they ever will have to be. Again, perfect timing for the bye week. So, Steeler Nation, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy 6-2. We're going to enjoy a stress-free Steelers bye week. And we're 6-2, man. It's in the top of the AFC North. We're all sitting pretty. We'll see where we stand in a month or two's time from now, but right now I'm feeling good. Steeler Nation, let us know you guys' thoughts down below. Huge shout-out to the offense for showing life. Huge shout-out to Wilson. Huge shout-out to Watt and Highsmith, Calvin Austin, Najee, Pickens, anyone else I'm naming. You guys balled out tonight. Steelers win 2 straight in prime time. Head into the bye at 6-2. Let us know you guys' thoughts. Here we go, Steelers.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!